Okay, so we're looking for the D minor scale, which is found on page 16 of your blue book. Get it to focus in. It's a little better. So when playing the D minor scale, we have things that we really need to look at in regard to our key signature, because as we talked about keys that have sharps in their key signature, we're looking at now a key signature that has a flat instead of a sharp. So make sure that you are thinking about the notes in this key. And I'm going to go ahead and just write them down for you, and you can write them down too. Okay. So the notes in the key of D minor are D, E, and since we don't have any sharps in our key signature, it's an F, or we would call that an F natural when there's no symbol on it. G, A, and then do you remember we had one flat in our key signature? So that flat is on your note B in your particular clef, which means it's a B flat. And that's the symbol we show for B flat. Then we have a C natural, and we finish with a D. So our first note D for all strings is open D. So I'm going to write a 0 above it. So you can write this down and do that as well, or in your blue books, you can write a 0 above your first note. Okay, our next note is E. All of us share the same fingering for E. It's first finger on the D string. Now we have F natural. So for violins and violas, we use a low 2 for F natural. Or you can do an arrow pointing down 2. For the cello, it's just a 2. And for Mr. Bassman, it's also a 2. So bass and cello use finger 2. 2 fingers on the D string. Okay, next, for G, violins and violas, use a 3rd finger. Cello is going to use 4 fingers. And the bass plays an open G. Okay, next, bass, A is 1 finger on the G string. Cello is open, and for violin and viola, it's open A. Okay, DeVarius, thanks for joining us. This is kind of spooky. Look. What's going on out here? It's a haunted house or something. Ooh. Something's going on. Hopefully it's not a real fire drill. I would imagine they'd have told us, hey, y'all get out of the building. Stop doing Zoom. All right, let's go back. Next, we have B flat. Now we've got to start thinking here. And the best way for you to think is, I wonder if this already was written in my book. And it is. It's on page 14 and 15. It tells you where these notes are. So the bass, in this case, for B flat, is 2 fingers on the G string. Normally you'd have 4 fingers on the tape for your B natural, but in this case it's 2 fingers. For cello, you have to do this thing called an extended first finger. You see here the X1. So that means that normally with our cello hand shape, we have this. Okay, but we're going to extend that first finger back. So this would be your piece of tape, and it would go back behind that piece of tape in between the nut and the piece of tape, about halfway. Don't get too close to the tape, or it's going to sound more like B natural. So this is your extended first finger shape. For violins and violas, we would use a low first finger, or you can put an arrow pointing down for your first finger. So in the same way, you're going to move that finger back. Let me see if I can get an instrument to show you. So if we're, this is how you'd be looking at your instrument. Here's the A string for the violin. This is B natural, and this is B flat. So really what I want is closer to the bump right here, closer to this nut to make it B flat. If this were a viola, then this would be your A string, and that would be the note B, and you move it back. This is a low first finger, closer to the bump, and that makes a really nice in-tune B flat. Anything getting up towards this way sounds like B natural. It's going to be wrong. Don't do it. Keep it nice and low, like it says, low first finger for your B flats. Okay, the next thing we need to know is about the C natural. So bass, you'll see here, there's a shift. So that -1 means move your first finger. And it means move it to the note C. So that's going to be to move. You got me, Max? You're going to move that first finger to your third piece of tape on the G string. So I'm going to show -1. And when you move that, it becomes what we call third position. That's what this Roman numeral is here. So you've got 2 fingers for B flat on the bass. And then you're going to shift your index finger, finger 1, to your third piece of tape on the G string. That'll give you C natural. For the cello, we're in our extended first position. So we've got these fingers separated. This is on the B flat, which is below the tape. And now this finger is still going to play C natural. So let's show that on the cello. Well, if you do have any instruments I have under my desk, you just laugh. You'd say, "Don't step on anything, Mr. Harper." I'd say, "I'm trying." So here's our cello. See that tape? Okay, so we have D, E, F, G. Let's get these things into it. Here's your A. Here's your extended. So this is normal for cello. And there's the extended finger back for B flat. But the rest of your fingers don't change. So here's C. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not on the B tape. It's on C where C normally is. So C on the A string is here. But all we're doing is just extending this finger back and keeping the rest of the stuff in place. So here's A, B flat, C natural, and D on the cello. with that extended finger position between the index going back, and these stay in the same position. Got it, James? James isn't here right now, but he needs to know that. And now for the violin. C is still what we would call a low 2 or a low second finger. Of course, finger 3 would play D. Cello, finger 4 would play that. And bass, finger 4 in your new third position would play that. So here it is on violin viola. The idea, D, D, this is for on violin D, E, F natural, low second finger, 2 fingers touching, G, A. Now here's the B flat, just past the bump, and then the C natural is going to be past the tape. So we have the space in between called a whole step. A, B flat, C natural, and 3 fingers on the D. So here's again for violin, for viola, you know, you're just on your D and your A string. Low second finger, low first finger, second finger past the tape, third finger. Remember, it's C natural, so don't try and make that finger stretch too far, or you're getting in C sharp territory. And in that way, you change the scale, which is really cool. It's called a harmonic minor scale, but we're not doing that. We're doing the natural minor scale. There's even another type of minor scale called the melodic minor scale. But don't worry, I'm just testing you on. Okay, let's make sure you use your bow, use the correct fingering. Label your assignment as D minor scale. And now we're going to take a look at the F major scale, which is in fact song number 63, a few songs back. Keep in mind page 14 and 15 has very important information you need to review and look at, including the F natural for the violin. Let's see if we can get it to focus in here. There we go. Which you'll see here for the violin. That's low first finger. In the same way you did low first finger on the A string for B flat, it's the same concept here. So viola, that's just reminding you of the low first finger for the B flat on the A string. Cello, there's your extended first finger back. There's that shape. So if I can show it like that. B flat and then C natural here. And so bass, here's something you need to know. So watch me as I get a bass out. Oh boy. All right, Max. Let's get where you can see me. Okay, here's your bass. First tape, second tape, third tape, fourth tape. First note, D. I'm going to go ahead and show you D minor bass. D, E, second finger for F. Here's G, first finger for A, second finger for B flat. Shift first finger to your third piece of tape. See what I did? Went from here, finger 1. The minus means shift. The 1 is what finger do we shift? And the note is where we shift it to, which the note is C natural. So first finger shifts to C natural. And then that allows you to play finger 4 on your high D. Shift. Okay, that's D minor for the bass. And now here's F major for the bass. And it starts, you saw that 1/2. So half position, this is your first piece of tape. Here's your nut. Half position is where you're halfway in between the tape and the nut. See that? Here's the tape. Here's the nut. That's F natural, like what we did in Frosty the Snowman last year. So here's F. You stay in half position to play 4 fingers down for G. Open A. Still in half position, play first finger in between the tape on the bass for B flat. 4 fingers down gives you C natural. Open D. Now we do 2 fingers on the D string for E natural, and then all 4 fingers for G. So let's write the fingering down. Ooh, that's a big instrument. Let's write the fingering down for the F major scale for all parts. So here it is on page 15. Keep in mind that key signatures, here's an example of the key signature. Let's do it for treble clef since we got a couple violin players. It's got 1 flat, and the notes are here, and that's the key signature for D minor. It's also the key signature for F major. But wait, Mr. Harper, how can it be the same key signature? They're 2 different things. Well, what happens when we start writing the key for F? So we've got F, G, A. Remember, there's B flat instead of B. C, D, E, and F. Okay, these 2 key signatures share the same notes. They share the same ingredients. They're relatives. You know, they share the same DNA, the same bloodline. But one of these relatives I like to call is the evil relative, the evil cousin. Do you have any evil cousins? You don't have to answer that in the chat. But what that means is, you know, that minor scale sounds kind of dark, kind of serious, kind of evil. Ha, 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 ha. Kind of like what was out there in the halls a minute ago. And so you can find the relative minor of any major scale by going to the 6th note or the 6th scale degree. So let's do that experiment. F is the major, the happy one, the happy sounding key. And if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we take these same notes, but we just started on D, then it makes it sound like a minor scale, which has a darker sound. And that term is called, write it down, it'll be on your test, relative minor. And it's found on the 6th scale degree for the 6th note of your major scale. Okay, relative minor, important information to know. We'll do something with it in just a minute, but first, let's go ahead and put the fingering here. So for F, for bass, we've got half position with finger 1. So we're in half position, finger 1. Then finger 4 for G, open. Still in half position, finger 1. Then finger 4 for C. Then open, finger 2, finger 4. That's for bass. For the cello, start with 3 fingers on the D string, followed by, cello. What am I thinking? Duh, 2 fingers for your D, for your F natural on the D string, followed by 4 fingers for your G natural, open A on the cello, extended first finger. Keeping that same extended first finger shape, you then have finger 2 on the A string for C natural, finger 4 for D, actually, cello, they got it easy for you. They didn't want you to shift. You just go back to your open D. They made that too easy. Bass players said, they should have done that. One finger on the D string and then two fingers for your high F. Okay, so cello, you got the day off on that one. And now for violin viola. So you start with your low second finger for F major. Then third finger. So this is low second finger on the D string. Third finger on the D string for G. Gives us an open A. Low first finger on the A string. We're talking L2 here. Because technically it's still a low first finger or low second finger. Check it out. So we're still thinking L2 on violin and viola because, normally this is it. But what we've done is we've lowered our first finger. And by the consequence, now when we play our second finger just past the tape, it's technically still a lowered second finger. So we've got open A, low first, L2 for second, and then three fingers. Three fingers for D. Okay, viola. Just note that in your book, you don't keep going up, even though you probably can, but they're not shifting on you yet. This is just the beginning of book 2. So you'll go back to open D, and I'm going to keep writing this for violin, okay, Mr. Viola? So violins have three finger D, and then violins, you go to your open E string, and then a low first finger for your F natural. So open E, and then an L1. So here it is in person for violin. So we've got D, E. Sorry, we're doing F major. So F, G, A, B flat, low second finger for C natural, D, here's open E, and then just like you did B flat here, low first finger for F natural. Do it again. Okay, I hope you got these notes. If you didn't, it'll be in the video and you can copy that later.